Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for March Comes in Like a Lion, chapter 192. When we last left our heroes, Harunobu was still sort of, caught up in his feelings about, his childhood rivalry into present-day rivalry with Rei, acknowledging just how much that rivalry pushed him and shaped him and made him grow, but that wasn't enough, and he still lost, and also passed out. His health gave out as he lost, leading to Rei taking him to the hospital and sitting with him as they sort of dealt with this illness flare-up, ending with Harunobu telling Rei about this dream he had, tying into the Jack Russell Terrier metaphor, along with the reincarnation of wild boars thing. But yeah, he lost, but we're still in Path, surprisingly enough. This is still Path Chapter 10. I thought this would be a new arc, but I guess not. Our picture here is a series of rings, it looks like. The beauty of the soul that dwells in a tiny Mamezara plate makes it a large container of great promise. I don't know what this has to do with much of anything here, but okay. Either way, we open on Hanaoka at the hospital. My god, what a calamity! All that regarding that devilish wild boar was true. Oh no, this is Hanaoka. This is the sensei who we saw in the flashbacks. All that regarding that devilish wild boar truly was a calamity. We see Shimada there as well. I cannot expect you to forget it, but I hope at least it will be fuel to you going forward. My poor disciple. So yeah, I guess he's told them about Rei's frustrating amounts of energy. And Harunobu's just, and also it appears like every day, and it'll stick around for a really long time, pressing sick little old me to examine the game with it. It's unclear if the sensei or even Shimada is aware that Harunobu is talking about Rei, but like we saw last time, a bit of frustration in Harunobu and Rei's just persistence of like sticking with him, even when really he just needs to get away from Rei for a bit. It's like it'll just start talking up a storm on its own and just keep going and going. And Sensei is, how utterly nefarious! Just how destructive is this beast? And we flash back to the previous night when Rei was still going over the game. Right around the 6-8 Gin, I thought you'd be approaching. Why didn't you? The loss of materials a bit, but the 7-5 Kaku, that was really something. And then that 4-6 Fu, and we see Harunobu, eyes hollowed out. Just could you please go now? And we cut to Shimada, who's listening to this, and Shimada is aware of who Harunobu is talking about. Kiriyama. He keeps starting on these absurd courses of action. And he thinks, I wonder why. Is he regressing to being a child? Maybe as a reaction to having been so adult-like when he was a kid? Which is a similar image we saw earlier in the arc, right? Part 3 or so, which is almost a year at this point, which, wow, time has continued to pass. Yeah, that's that. I don't know. I'm curious if we're going somewhere with that. If that's going to be now that the story of Rei's depression is ended, so to speak, I'm wondering if that's sort of where we're going next. I don't know. This idea that he was forced to be this sort of mature adult as a very young child, and that's affecting him negatively in the present. Maybe Hina's childishness sort of allows an outlet for a childishness that Rei never got to express or something? I don't know. Possibilities. So even Sensei knows who he's talking about. That Kiriyama. It must be that because his master Kodo is such a stern, serious stuffed shirt. Perhaps a reaction to that, an emotionless monster has sprung forth. And Shimada's watching. Damn, Kiriyama's really getting roasted. But then Harunobu protests, no, it's my fault as well. Due to my sheer inadequacy, I could not make my close friend into an honest citizen. Harunobu, damn! And Sensei goes on, what are you saying, you fool? You are the ultimate shogi player. Then I'm assuming this is Shimada stopping this whole, antics while Harunobu still needs his bed rest. And now then, it's about time to get going. And Sensei then says, I suppose I'll take a lap around the Imperial Palace, eat some eel, and return home. And Shimada looks down at him, Master, are you a phoenix? Haven't you lost half your stomach? Did we know that? I guess there was some he's an old man. I bet he's had a lot of surgeries. But Sensei brushes him off. Oh, how long ago was that? One must eat if they want their wounds to heal. But Harunobu tells him, but don't eat the full meal, okay? Harunobu, of course, knows how to be sick. It's been his life's, status. Only a half portion of rice. And go slow. Start with some clear broth soup. But Sensei stops him. Oh, quiet down. I thought Grandma had come back to life for a moment there. Bye now. And he leaves, leaving Shimada there alone. Shimada alone with Harunobu. Yep, that's our master for you. And Harunobu just smiles. Yeah, I always feel better when I see him. And Shimada agrees. Yeah, me too. And Harunobu then tells him, as I gradually came to understand my health condition, and the whole Nikaido family focused only on saying, don't work, get rest, don't leave your room, and things like that. And we see, the sensei back then, he'll get stronger. You got a soul that's top-notch. Just let me handle your pops. We're gonna make that soul burn bright. I was really surprised back then. I thought Hanaoka was the only adult who would be my ally. And we have this flashback I've never really seen before, actually. Or a sense of thing, a flashback that shows us a dynamic we've never seen before. That, it seems like Hanaoka had to, beg and plead with Harunobu's father to let him do anything or something. You see that look of, anger in Harunobu's eyes as he, defends Hanaoka there. Anyway, but then I met Master, and I met Anija. Is that a nickname for Shimada there? A sort of, big brother thing? And we see this sort of, important business partners of the Nikaido family. Master Koizumi is Shogi student. I guess that's, is Koizumi the sensei's name? We might have known that, but I forgot. But we see them. Quite lucky you are, Nikaido-kun. How I do look forward to seeing your future. You got Koizumi-sensei's seal of approval. I think he's having a match with his grandfather and winning. You must be proud, my good man. Harunobu-kun here is quite a skilled player. You have quite the grandson on your hands. They opened up my world. I was truly fortunate. Kiriyama, too. In my battle with Kiriyama the other day, I felt really strange. I felt really close to him. Well, he was right in front of me, so that makes sense, but it was like he wasn't in front of me. Rather, he was within me. I feel renewed in the feeling that I want to live a long time. It was like I was intending to be super careful about everything, but I think maybe somewhere along the way I left my body behind and tried to move forward. So I can fight on in the future with Anija, and he's clearly weakening now, and Shigeta-san and Kiriyama. He dozes off, not like a dying thing, and Shimada just closes his eyes for him. Okay, I got it. Now rest. And we see, Shimada sort of looks at Harunobu here. That's right. Let's keep on duking it out for a long, long time on the board. And we cut back to, I guess, when Koizumi first took on Harunobu with Shimada's confusion. Are you sure about this? He's definitely got skill, but with health like that, I'm not sure if he can make it through the Shoreikai training week. Maybe living a quiet life would allow him to be in better health. But Koizumi cuts him off. You think that if he walks this path, his suffering will become dozens of times worse, don't you? And yet that boy has long since made his choice, hasn't he? That boy has a fireball for a heart. And it's shouting at him, I want to fight. And yet you tell him to sit and wait for death? That option is far, far more cruel, Kai. Sangatsu no Lion, to be continued. This is a great chapter. Path as a whole, despite the sheer amount of calendar length it's been going on for, especially because there's not supposed to be an issue, a chapter next issue, so it'll be another month until we get an 11th part, if there is one, or whatever the new arc is. This arc, let me go check for a second. This arc started in July, I think? Or no, July is just when Manga Dex came back after the whole scare a year or so ago. Let's see, when was it? When did this arc start? I think it was April of 21. Which, we've been here for over a year now, and it still hits just as hard. Every single chapter is so good. This series is a classic and will be remembered as such for a long time. And this chapter moves through some of these tones so well. We have this opening scene with Koizumi that's very, light and funny and sort of roasting Kiriyama for just being so damn weird to everyone now. And like, you know, joking around about Koizumi's strength. It's just a fun little like comic scene to sort of ease the tension of the past year of this manga. But then we have to get a bit more serious as Harunobu sort of reflects on how much Koizumi has meant to him and how much Shimada has meant to him and Kiriyama and even Shigeta at that point. Like all these people who have been there for him from the beginning, who have lifted him up, who have encouraged him to become as strong as he is. And that's how he's made it this far, and he wants to keep on going. And, you know, I said in the past, as I've said before, it does sort of seem like March is coming to an end. Like, in broad strokes term. Not like anytime soon, but like it's setting up for a finale. And as a result, this does kind of feel like, you know, maybe the end of Harunobu's character arc. He might still be around, but I don't think he'll be like a focused character after this. And, you know, on the one hand, this is a phenomenal ending to his character, especially this last scene with Shimada, as, you know, Koizumi comments in the flashback, the boy is a fireball for a heart, and shouting at him, I want to fight, and yet you tell him to sit and wait for death. You know, we see the faith Koizumi had in Harunobu from the very beginning, in the beginning of his training, and here, that faith has been rewarded completely. That's a damn good ending for Harunobu's character. However, because this final beat of his is like, I want to keep on going, I don't want to just, you know, fade away here, to have him, in a metatextual sense, literally fade away here would be kind of mean-spirited, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it could still work, but it'd be a little mean. I don't know. All in all, that's a question for another time. All in all, the chapter is great. The chapter is an absolutely phenomenal chapter. And I don't know, like this I said last month could also be the end of Path. This could also be the end of Path. Path could end any chapter now, but as long as it keeps on being this damn good, I'm willing to be here for as long as Umino is. So that's my thoughts on that. So with that said, I'm gonna leave this video off here. Hope you'll enjoy the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, you know, do whatever makes it happy, you know. And as always, your life is your own. Okay, bye.